I'll be discussing on the topic called the mirror card relationship. You know, the aim of this podcast is to ensure that relationships receive healing. You never truly meet yourself until you meet another person. That is to say, relationship is the mirror that reflects your true self.
I'm going to rephrase it like this. How do we maximize relationship as a mirror? How do we use relationship as a mirror to discover our tendencies? And I'll tell you two major ways you can do that. Now, the first way is watch out how you react when people point it out.
Yeah.
Then the second thing is listen to their point of view. I'm in no way saying you should be ruled by people's opinions. You know, most persons have this default setting of pushing blames without self-reflection.
Yeah, true. So, in this case where people are always pointing blames, do you have a way that you can talk to them? Do you have something to say to them to make them realize that hello, it's not all about you all the time?
I believe for every relationship to work, you must both appreciate and acknowledge your values.
True.
Boundaries.
True.
Standards.
True.
Because that's what's going to ensure it moves forward.
It's like the topic says, people, the relationship you have, they are the mirror that will tell you you're really wrong. So if you're holding grudges against anybody, you are finding it difficult to relate with people, maybe this is just an eye-opener for you. Hello my people, welcome once again to Waate Talks, a place where we share experiences every day as we grow, hoping you learn from us as much as we learn from you. Today is my birthday. I know, right? Thank you. And to mark this special day, I am having this powerful podcast. And I'll be discussing on the topic called the mirror card relationship. Tonight, I'm not doing this alone. I have a friend, a brother, a colleague, an excellent person that will be on this discussion with me today. Dami, please, can you introduce yourself?
I'm really happy to be here, Nizo, and this is a very big opportunity for me also. My name is Sibi Damiate, and I'm the founder of a growing NGO called Insight. And what we do in Insight is to help transform the mindsets of people. And we do that by exposing them to different practical perspectives on different subject matters.
Thank you so much, Dami. It's really an honor to have you here.
Thank you, too.
I'm delighted that you came. Thank you for honoring this invitation.
Thank you,
So let's get started. You know, the aim of this podcast is to ensure that relationships receive healing.
Yeah.
Okay? We're in a world where there is this adage going on. Anybody that does not flow with me, cut off.
Yeah.
Cut this one.
Yeah.
If you cut A, you cut B, you cut C, you cut D, then who are you going to be relating with?
Nobody.
And that is the aim of this podcast. We are not ruling out the fact that people might be very toxic or people can be very toxic. But we're saying, is there no better way to, make this thing work instead of cutting people off? Now, according to Baxidon, he said something profound.
Okay.
He said, I quote, you never truly meet yourself
Okay.
until you meet another person.
Okay.
That is to say, relationship is the mirror that reflects your true self. So if you feel like you're perfect, of course, a lot of people think they're perfect, they're good, they don't have flaws. Wait until you get involved in a relationship with someone before you start realizing that maybe I'm not truly perfect.
Okay.
So on this note, what do you have to say, Danny? Because we know we're in this world and people are always saying, I want to cut off people. Do you really think people should cut people off?
No.
Or they should find another way to resolve conflict? So what do you have to say about this?
To me, I believe that we can discover our tendencies, we can discover our imperfections, we can discover our flaws from relationships. Okay. And this is because we need to create rules to accommodate other people's point of view and other people's perspectives. So now I'm going to rephrase it like this. How do we maximize relationship as a mirror? How do we use relationship as a mirror to discover our tendencies? And I'll tell you two major ways you can do that. Now, the first way is watch out how you react when people point it out.
Yeah, true.
Your reaction to accommodating their point of view is one key factor you can use to be like, oh, I never knew. Then the second thing is listen to their point of view. I'm in no way saying you should be ruled by people's opinions.
Yeah,
No.
true.
But just in that mode and or atmosphere of self-reflection, just look at how you reacted when they said it. When they said you were harsh. You understand? When they said maybe you snob or something like that. And also listen to their point of view. Also, there's something else I want to point out. You know, most persons have this default setting of pushing blames without self-reflection.
Yeah, true.
Look, just like she's the one.
Exactly.
You never come to yourself and be like, maybe I have a role to play in this. Okay, I'm just going to point out a scenario from the Bible.
Okay.
We all can bear witness with God
Yeah.
from the more point of view. When he told Adam, don't touch this.
Yeah.
So, fast forward, Eve came into the picture. Fast forward, she was tempted. She gave him the apple. So when God came and God saw that everything was different, he asked Adam, what happened? He immediately pointed to Eve. Is it not this one?
Yeah, the wife you gave to me.
But now, assuming he had a self-reflection moment, in quote, for want of word, he would have remembered and recalled that God instructed me, so I'm at fault. I have a role to play in this. So I believe the fact that people point to other, like push blame, is a product of their mindset.
Yeah, true.
So that's what I feel.
Very true. That's very true. I mean, not this thing you're saying. I'm just going to share an experience I had lately.
Okay.
You know, first of all, we must identify and state that pointing, like looking at yourself, self-reflection is hard for a lot of persons.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. We're not really that fact that it's not hard. It's really hard. You know, when there's a situation, you're always quick. The way your brain works is let me blame this person.
Yeah.
They can't shout at me. You know that time when we're growing up and then let's say your mom comes back from the market and she says, who dropped this cup here? Which you know is a taboo. Nobody's supposed to drop cup here. And then you are the one that dropped the cup here. Now you say, instead of to say, Mommy, I dropped this cup. You're not saying it was uncle that said I should drop it.
Immediately. So
that your mommy will not beat you alone. If eventually she's going to be, let her beat the both of us together.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I had an experience lately that brought out this inspiration.
Okay.
So over the years, I know I'm always reactive.
Okay.
But I've never really accepted that I have anger issues.
You
know, when you said that being receptive to inputs, like when somebody's talking to you, you know, then when they said, "No, you're shouting," like there was something that happened in the house recently. My cousin was telling me, "No, you are shouting," and I'm like, "No, I'm not shouting." He said, "Until you are shouting," I said, "I'm not shouting." At the point, I had to stop and say, "It seems like I'm really shouting." So if that was one, then another experience I had was when I had an issue with somebody, and the person was like, "I need space." Now the first point of action for me was get angry at him. You know, I was so angry. I didn't want to know why he needed space. I was like, "So are you trying to say?" I became defensive. Are you trying to say I'm the one that caused the issue? And you know, and then I started doing things. I did a lot of things I'm not supposed to do. I called some persons to report the case. Talk about the person, like, and you know, this is where third party comes into play. Please, I beg you. If somebody comes to tell you about an event that occurred, if you were not there, don't try to take sides and give judgments. What if me that I'm telling you, giving you this report, I'm not giving you the full details of what happened? And then this is where a lot of third parties make mistakes. I come to tell you about my friend, and let's say I'm having a misunderstanding with you now, and I have another friend I'm discussing with. So I go to talk to that person, I'll be like, "Do you know what Dami did today?" You know, I was talking to Dami on the phone. Dami ended the call. You know, for days now, Dami has not been talking to me. Dami has not picked my call. Third parties, they're always tempted to cut Dami off. That's the next advice I will come, especially in this our generation. Cut Dami off. And why? He's being insensitive. Are you sure he's not toxic? I start drawing conclusions. What if Dami was having an issue with his phone? Let's just start from there first. You've not thought about it. Have you even asked, but the third party has not asked you, have you even heard from Dami? At least try to hear from him. They're very fast, very quick to tell you, cut Dami off. Dami is not a good friend. So that was what happened. I spoke to some of my friends
Yeah.
about the incident. They were not even willing to hear from me to say, okay, what did you also do
Yeah.
that made him say, give me space?
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm.
They just started saying, he's not the best person for you, he's not this, he's not
Yeah.
that. And then
Yeah.
I thought about it, not until somebody came to tell me, to
Mm.
point out the same thing again.
Mm.
So you have anger issues.
That's the new.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was when I said, no, I have to reflect.
Yeah.
It was hard,
Yeah.
to be honest,
Yeah.
but I had to reflect. And ever since I gained that consciousness,
Mm.
I have anger issues.
Yeah.
Whenever something triggers me, I wait.
Yeah.
I try to hold myself and be like, no, so you have anger issues, you know
Yeah.
that. So just wait, hold on, don't react yet.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm coming from here. And when we started having a conversation, when we eventually talked,
Yeah.
he was telling me that he was going through a lot,
Mm.
but I did not see it.
You see?
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I did not see it. So in your relationship with people,
Yeah.
your spouse, your boss, some people will even come. Do you know that many people come and say,
Mm.
my boss is very wicked.
Yeah.
My boss is this. How can my boss cut my salary?
Yeah.
My boss did this. And you now that they're telling, you'll be very tempted to say, don't you want to look for another job?
Okay. That's right. That's
But
right.
before you
That's right.
start some job, they will tell you, if you come late, we're cutting this amount from your salary.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not aware, you're aware. But you want to paint the other person to be bad, which is human nature most of the time. You want to point, just like you said, you want to point fingers
Yeah.
at people rather than looking inwardly. So
Yeah.
how about you tell yourself, or tell people the truth. I
Okay.
went late today. My
Yeah.
boss did deduct some
Yeah.
amount of money from my salary.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Or the advisor desk that is advising you.
Yeah.
And maybe ask you, what did you do wrong? Because your boss, nobody just reacts. You know, in physics, they say action and reaction, they are what? Equal and opposite. So for there to be a reaction, there must be an action that is triggering that reaction. So this is where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? I mean, this is where we're coming from. So in this case where people are always pointing blames, do you have a way that you can talk to them? Do you have something to say to them to make them realize that hello, it's not all about you all the time? Okay? In as much as I know, yes, you reacted badly, but what did I also do?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that means, do you have anything to say about that?
Okay.
You can comment to me.
For me, well said. Well said.
Thank you.
But for me, it's important for us to know, or for us to see conflict as a two-way situation.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's important, very important for us to see it as a two-way situation. See it as they both have a role to play
Exactly.
that produce the conflict.
Yeah.
For one of what. So, and when you know the importance, and I appreciate that importance, it helps you to give balance to the conflict. You hear from both sides.
Yeah.
And it instills this consciousness of always asking yourself, do I have a role to play in this? Before saying, this is for you. You understand? And I believe there's a benefit in this. It gives room for easy reconciliation and growth. You understand?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So you get to learn of this person and also know yourself also. So it's very, very important for us to see it as a two-way situation. So that's just what I have to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to add to what Daniel said,
Yeah.
if you're relating with somebody, I don't know, I feel like it's very bad. I'm relating with you here. Of course, we can never be the same.
Yeah.
That's why adaptability is very important. But then I tell you something, Daniel, I don't like my cup being here.
Okay. Yeah.
But every time you bring my cup,
Yeah.
you drop it there.
Yeah.
I say it the first day, I say it the second day, I say the third day. It's well, I equate it to witchcraft. It's bad.
That was funny.
Yes,
Yeah.
because do you really want the person to react? You looking for a reaction from the person before you realize that this person doesn't like it?
Like, if I may come in, I
Yeah,
believe for every relationship to work, you must both appreciate and acknowledge your values,
true,
boundaries,
true,
standards,
true.
because that's what's going to ensure it moves forward. But if anyone does that, like they trivialize your values and standards, it means they're not even willing to make it work or to be
Exactly.
your friends in the first place. So every true friend must really appreciate your values and your standards. That's just what I have to say. So if you said, I don't like the cup to be here, then he or she shouldn't keep it there. They should respect and honor that fact that it shouldn't be there. That's just what I have to say to
Exactly.
friends out there. So respect values, respect standards.
respect values, and
Respect.
respect
Standards.
standards. So, from all that you have said, I picked them three things here.
Okay.
You said number one, you have to be receptive
Yeah.
to inputs, to corrections.
Yeah.
We're not saying, just like you
Yeah.
said, that you should live your life based on people's opinion.
Don't do
alone.
that. Don't.
But be receptive to corrections. When they
Yeah.
come, also know that you're not perfect. And people, just like the topic says, people, the relationship you have, they
Yeah.
are the mirror
Yeah.
that will tell you you're really wrong.
Yeah.
And two, just like you're accepting the input, yes. Two, you have to evaluate yourself.
Yeah.
Get into self-reflection
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah.
Evaluate yourself.
Yeah.
And then three, always hear from the other side.
Yeah.
Don't just jump into conclusion. Don't just cut people up. We're not islands. You cannot live and exist alone.
Yeah.
So when you cut A, you cut B, you cut C, you have a problem. It's not. It's not even about the people again. Because I'm saying this because I get to see how view people start to be like, I don't like they take pride in not being able to relate with people. They take pride in it.
Yeah.
Not knowing that people are the greatest asset you can ever have.
Yeah, it's a wrong mindset.
Exactly.
If you do that, it's very wrong.
But it's true, you know that,
Yes,
right?
it's true.
They keep saying, if you do me, I'm not, if you do, I'll cut you off. Cut you off, I have scissors, I'm cutting people. If you cut and cut and cut, who will you not talk to?
Yeah.
Sure, you cut your siblings too, you cut your parents, you cut your boss. So we're saying this in conclusion that one should be able to look at yourself inwardly whenever there is a conflict. Okay? It's always, sometimes it can be about you too. It might be that you're the one that have issues that needs to be resolved. Alright, so please let's take our time, analyze situations properly, then self-reflect and have honest conversations. You're right, okay? I can also have honest, Danny, why did you react the way you reacted that time? You'd be like, so I was having a very difficult time, so I needed some time. Just like my friend told me that I was having a very difficult, I needed some time alone. You weren't at fault, okay? But if you don't have that honest conversation, you would not know. So those are the things. So the essence of this podcast is that by the help of the Holy Spirit, relationship receive healing. So if you're holding grudges against anybody, you are finding it difficult to relate with people, maybe this is just an eye-opener for you. You know, you never can tell. So share this video, let it get to your friends, your families. You know, just like they said, growth starts when you stop pointing fingers and start holding the mirror. So rather than point fingers today, hold the mirror. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for staying with us today and those are Waate Talks, a place where we share experiences every day as we grow, hoping you learn from us just as we learn from you. Do not forget, we had CV Damiete with us today, and it was an amazing time. My name remains Waate. See you on the next episode. Have a great time.